Welcome to the third episode of the Student Slant. I am your host, Jabari Tutt, and I am here with Miss Jackson, a teacher at Thompson High School. How are you doing today, Miss Jackson?
I'm doing great. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. So I have a couple questions for you regarding teaching and also regarding prom.
Okay.
So now we're going to get started. The first question is, what does your job consist of?
Here at Thompson High School, I am the social studies teacher. I am the gifted specialist. I am co-sponsors with Beta and with Miss C. Rozier, and also co-sponsors of Student Council with Miss August Hubert. I also am over prom, so I have a lot of caps that I wear in the school right now.
All right. What inspired you to pursue a career in education?
My grandfather. My grandfather was a principal, and then, of course, it's a long time ago, so the principal was kind of like the superintendent of the schools in his area. And all the time while I was growing up, everybody just said that his personality and my personality are the same. And so between that and, of course, my grandmother was also a teacher. So with that in mind, it's like a family legacy. My parents were teachers. My aunts and uncles are teachers. So it's just a family thing.
All right. And what made you decide to specialize in this specific subject of teaching?
Well, I started out with high school, but I did my internship at high school. But when I got hired, it was in middle school. So I started in Savannah teaching middle school mathematics. And they wanted me to create a program to basically integrate mathematics for inclusion kids. So I came up with a math technology program. And they liked it so much that they wanted me to teach it. So when I moved back this way towards Washington Wilkes, of course, they don't have a math technology program, so I just went into middle school teaching mathematics and then started teaching gifted mathematics. But social studies, history was my love. So I went back and finally just asked, hey, do you have a social studies position open? And they had one here at the high school. So I've been teaching here at the high school for the past 4 years.
All right. And what are some tough obstacles that you had to overcome since you have started teaching?
Just knowing that everything is not going to be perfect. No matter how nice you are or how structured you have your day going, it's something can always throw it off. And you just have to be flexible and be able to go with the flow.
All right. Now on to a couple of prom questions. The first question I have is, are there any requirements you must meet to attend prom?
We have very simple requirements. Our main thing is that the attendance must be junior or seniors that apply. So because it's called junior senior prom. So the attendance, the main attendance from Thompson High School must be junior or seniors. Now their dates have a little bit more leeway. They can be juniors or seniors or up to the age of 21. And that's the dates. But if they're not from this school, or they're out of school, then we have background checks they must have. Or if they're at another school, their principal have to sign off to say that that student is in good behavior. But it's very simple requirements that we have here.
All right. And what is the theme for prom this year?
So our theme for prom this year is Met Gala. So it's a play on old Hollywood, but at the same time, being glamorous, being creative, being stylish. So we chose Met Gala as being our overall theme.
All right. And what kind of impact do you think prom will leave for the students?
If it's anything like it was for me, I like the idea of being able to dress up and show people at my best. Because most of the time when we come to school, we come to school and we want to be comfortable. So we dress up, we experience hanging out with friends in a positive learning, not a learning environment, but a positive environment to party in. And it's fun and you get to see people out of their element.
All right. And what is your reason for doing prom?
A little bit of the same thing, except I get to use my interior design mindset that I think I have, that sometimes people say I don't have, but I think I have it. But I get to use my creativity, and I like doing that every now and then.
All right. When and where will the Grand March be held so that parents and community members can attend?
Well, the Grand March will take on the same format as what we did last year. We will offer some tickets to the public because we're going to have it in the auditorium. The auditorium has a limit on how many people can attend. So we can't just open it up to the public as saying anybody and everybody can show up. So we have to purchase tickets in order to meet the fire code regulations. But April 22nd is when the Grand March will be. We will be in the auditorium. It will start at 8 o'clock. We ask that people come in about 7:30 in order for them to already be seated. So we can start at 8 and that our seniors can do their Grand March at that time. And tickets will be sold prior to that. So usually we open the tickets up to the public about a week before Grand March, but all of that will be announced through our one call, through Google Classroom, through the Remind app that we gave the kids, to the Google Classroom we gave the kids. Facebook, we literally try to send it out multiple ways so that the public would know that they can purchase those tickets.
All right. Is there anything else that students might need to know prior to prom?
Just, we want everything to be fun, to be around your friends, make new friends if because everybody's about interaction. But the main thing is right now we are strictly forcing this dress code. So we're asking all people to please go back and look at the dress code, follow the dress code, and understand that there can be consequences for not being able to follow the dress code. Other than that, the whole thing is we just want them to have fun.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Jackson, for letting me interview you. Now that we have learned about Thompson High School's prom, let's now move on to Thomson-McDuffie Middle School's 8th grade formal. I am here today with Ms. Bunner. Ms. Bunner, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Now, I have a couple questions regarding your teaching experience and the 8th grade formula.
Okay.
The first question I have for you today is, what does your job consist of?
Well, I've been a counselor here at the middle school since 2007. I talk with kids if they're having a problem. I talk with them about their grades. I do guidance sessions with 7th and 8th graders about test-taking skills, problem solving, peer mediation, things like that. I do a lot of other things like RTI, which, the teachers do, but we kind of keep man of. We keep up with student records, things like that. So that's what I do as a counselor.
All right. And what inspired you to pursue a career in education?
I was a teacher at Glen Hills Middle in Augusta for 10 years. I started wanting to get into education because my major was psychology. And at the time I was working at a community care home for adult mentally ill clients. And we did a lot of teaching basic skills with them. And so I thought I could teach. And so I did. I taught for 10 years, but I have been a counselor since 2007.
All right. And what made you decide to specialize in this specific subject?
I took psychology my junior year at Richmond Academy from Miss Tyler and loved the class. And that became my major.
All right. And what are some tough obstacles that you have had to overcome since you have started teaching?
Same thing with when I was teaching and as a counselor. When I have a situation with a student and there's nothing that I can do to maybe fix the problem, or if it's something that isn't my job, but I'm still concerned about it, having to draw that line and separate is hard sometimes. It's hard not to take stuff home because you think about kids. I worry about kids over the weekend. That's hard sometimes.
All right. And now I have a couple questions regarding the 8th grade formula.
Okay.
The first question I have is, are there any requirements the students must meet to attend the formula?
Well, We tried that. We tried to do something as far as discipline goes, but apparently there's not a requirement at the high school to attend prom. So we were told we had to do the same thing, leave it open to pretty much everyone. Some of the kids still think that there's some things they can do to ruin their chances of going, and we kind of want them to think that as long as we can. But for the most part, everybody can attend.
All right. And what is the theme for the formal this year?
This year's theme is a sneaker ball. It's been popular for the last couple of years. A lot of adults have sneaker balls. I went to one for a birthday party. And one good thing about it is, for girls and for guys, you can be dressed up and still have uncomfortable shoes. So the kids are excited and we're excited too.
All right. And what kind of impact do you think the formal will leave for the students?
Well, hopefully it's a good way to round out their last year of middle school. They'll remember it forever. They'll have pictures and hopefully give them something to look forward to when they get to high school as far as prom.
All right. And when and where will the Grand March be held so that parents and community members can attend?
It will be at Thomson-McDuffie Middle School gym. The doors will open at 5 o'clock and we start at 6.
All right. And is there anything else that students might need to know prior to the formal?
Just that formal is on Saturday, April 29th from 7 to 9 p.m. We're asking all the students to be there by 5 and make sure they have a ride to pick them up at 9.
All right. Is there anything else that you feel you have left out that you would like to add?
They have a dress code that was emailed to all of the students. I can't think of anything else.
Thank you, Ms. Bunner, for taking the time out your day to let me interview you.
You're welcome. It was great to see you.
It was great to see you too. And that concludes another episode of the Student Slant. So this is your host, Jabari Tut, signing off.